The Nintendo 64 has some amazing games, but we're going to talk about 10 games that are all under $25. So let's get into it. Starting off, we've got WrestleMania 2000, and everyone knows that the Nintendo 64 had some amazing wrestling games, and this is the one that I decided to go with because this one's worth about $16 to $17 according to price charting, which is what I'm going to use for this video. But this is an amazing wrestling game. I mean, it's not WWF No Mercy, but this is a ton of fun, and if you have it in your collection, you'll absolutely love it. The next, we have a very big heavy hitter for the Nintendo 64, and that is Star Fox 64. This game is absolutely amazing, and it is a ton of fun. If you don't have this in your collection, you definitely should, but this one just barely made the list at being $24 according to price charting, which is pretty awesome because this game is definitely well worth it and you need to have it in your collection. Moving on, we've got Jet Force Gemini, which is a gem from the Nintendo 64. This game should be definitely worth more than it is. Currently, it's going for around $15, which is pretty crazy because I feel like this game is really underrated and a lot of people overlook it. So if you're looking to save some money and get a really great game, you might want to pick this one up. Next, we have a game that is near and dear to my heart. I absolutely love this game and the sequel or the other game that's on the Nintendo 64 for it, and that is Battle Tanks. This game is a ton of fun. Who doesn't like to drive around in tanks and destroy other tanks and other buildings and stuff like this? This is a ton of fun. And it's only going to cost you $15 if you're going to get it loose, which is absolutely amazing because you'll get hours of fun out of this. I definitely think this is a great game for 15 bucks. And speaking of blowing things up, we've got Blast Corps. This game, you're basically this kind of weird mech kind of thing where you go around and destroy things in your path. That way, whenever the train or fire engine, whatever it is, I don't actually know what it is, goes through, it'll go safely. So you're basically destroying everything in its path. It's absolutely fun. And if you're looking to pick this up, you're going to spend about $18, which is not bad because this game is one that you should have and it is a ton of fun. The next game we have is Beetle Adventure Racing, which comes in around $19 to $20. But I've got an issue with this game. However, I will say this game is absolutely awesome. I'm not a fan of the soundtrack. It just gets kind of boring and monotonous and is the same thing over and over again. And the cars are just bugs, but they're different colors. There's nothing special there. However, the racing in this game is definitely well worth it. It controls really well. And overall, it's one of those games that I think a lot of people love, but it could have been better in my opinion. Then we got a game that definitely rivals GoldenEye 007, and that is Perfect Dark. This is pretty much the cheap man's version or the poor man's version of GoldenEye 007. It's an absolutely amazing game, and if you're trying to pick it up, you're going to get it for $19 to $20, which is totally amazing because this is definitely well worth it. GoldenEye, I think, is like $35 or $40, so if you're trying to grow a budget collection, this is one you should probably pick up over that, but they're both absolutely amazing games and definitely need to be in your collection. Talking about more racing games, we've got Star Wars Episode 1 Racer. This game is a ton of fun, and I know they remastered or remade it for the Nintendo Switch, and it's cheap, but this game is only worth $9 to $10, which is blowing my mind. I absolutely love this game. I think it's a ton of fun to play. Sometimes when you're driving really fast, it's hard to see what's in the foreground or background, but overall, I absolutely love this game. The nostalgia I have for this is absolutely insane, and this is a ton of fun if you're into racers, so go ahead and grab this if you're looking to get a good racer. Next, coming in at about $19 to $20 is probably one of, if not my favorite Nintendo 64 game. Well, I probably shouldn't say that, but it's one of those on my top list, and that is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. This is my favorite Tony Hawk Pro Skater game. This is one of those that I had way back when. It was actually the first Tony Hawk game. I didn't get the first one. I got this one when I first picked up my Nintendo 64, and I've absolutely loved it since. So if you're trying to spend 20 bucks for a skateboarding game, I would pick up this one if I were you. And last but not least, we've got to talk about Pokemon Snap. This game is an on-rail shooter where you're basically taking pictures of Pokemon, and at the end of each map, you're graded by the professor, and you are gonna get addicted to this game if you have it. Until you beat it, you're gonna want to keep playing it. You play those maps over and over, finding new hidden things, doing new things to kind of activate some Pokemon. It's absolutely amazing. This game is only going for about 20 bucks, which shocks me because it is a Pokemon game. However, it is an amazing game, so you should definitely pick it up on the Nintendo 64 if you don't have it already. So there you go. There are 10 different Nintendo 64 games that are all currently under $25. These are some amazing games, but if I could only pick like 2 or 3, I would definitely pick up Pokemon Snap, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, and maybe a decision between Battle Tanks and Star Fox. I'm not quite sure. These are all amazing games, and I'm glad to have them all in my collection. But if you are trying to grow a collection or have a collection on a budget, I feel like this is a great way to start. Now, obviously, you're probably going to want to pick up Super Mario 64, Zelda Majora's Mask, and Ocarina of Time, and maybe a few others mixed in. But if you're on a purely of a budget and you're trying to find some amazing games that are dirt cheap, these are all well worth it. But I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, so go ahead and check out that video right there. And to be honest with you, I think I might pick Battle Tanks over Star Fox 64. What do you think? Is that a crazy thing to say? I'm not sure, but I'm gonna get out of here. Check that video out if you haven't already.